The rain was falling hard that morning, drenching the city in a gray curtain of sound. Maya Brooks ran through the crowded streets, clutching her worn-out bag, her breath quick and uneven. She had just dropped her 6-year-old son, Liam, at the neighbor's because the babysitter had canceled again. His cough still echoed in her ears as she hurried through puddles, her heart pounding with fear of being late again. Her cafe manager had warned her. "One more time, Maya, and you're out. No excuses." She couldn't afford to lose this job. Rent was due. Groceries were running out. And Liam's school fees had already been delayed for 2 months, but fate, as it often did, had other plans. As she ran across the intersection, she noticed a man in a wheelchair struggling near the curb. The wheel was stuck in a pothole, cars splashing dirty water all around him. People walked by, some glanced, most ignored. Maya froze, torn between time and conscience. Her eyes went to her watch. 8:56 a.m. Her shift started in 4 minutes. If she stopped, she'd be late. If she didn't, she'd hate herself forever. Her decision was instant. She dropped her bag and ran toward him. "Hold on, sir," she shouted, her voice barely cutting through the honking horns and rain. The man looked up, startled and helpless, his hands trembling. Maya gripped the wheelchair handles and pulled with all her strength, mud splattering her clothes. Her shoes slipped, her hair clung to her face, but she didn't stop until she had him safely back on the sidewalk. "Are you okay?" she asked, panting. He looked at her, his eyes tired but grateful. "Thank you, young lady." No one else even stopped. She smiled faintly, brushing mud from her sleeves. "You don't leave someone behind just because you're late." And with that, she grabbed her bag and ran toward the cafe, heart pounding. By the time she arrived, drenched and shaking, her manager stood by the counter with folded arms. The clock showed 9:10. "You're late again, Maya." "Please, sir, just listen, no more stories. You're a good worker, but rules are rules." The words hit harder than the rain outside. She tried to plead, to explain about the man, the wheelchair, the storm, but it didn't matter. Her apron was taken. Her hours erased. Her last hope gone. She walked home slowly, holding back tears, replaying the man's face in her mind. Liam opened the door before she could knock. "Mommy, you're home early." She forced a smile, kneeling to hug him tightly. "Yeah, baby. Mommy's just home today." That night, as Liam slept beside her, she stared at the cracked ceiling and whispered to herself, doing the right thing shouldn't hurt this much. The next morning, as she prepared a simple breakfast, a knock echoed at the door. She opened it to find a tall man in a black suit standing there, holding a letter. "Miss Maya Brooks?" "Yes?" "Mr. Alexander Bennett requests your presence at the Silverstone building today at noon." She frowned. "I'm sorry, who?" "The chairman," he said simply, handing her the letter. Maya didn't know what to think. She had never met anyone important in her life. Maybe it was a mistake. But something about the tone, calm, polite, respectful, made her curious. She borrowed her neighbor's coat and caught the bus downtown, her heart racing the entire ride. The Silverstone building towered above the clouds, glass and steel gleaming in the sunlight. She stepped inside, feeling entirely out of place among the polished shoes and designer suits. The receptionist smiled warmly and led her to the top floor. When the elevator doors opened, her breath caught. Sitting behind a massive desk was the same man she had helped in the rain, only now, he looked entirely different. Dressed in a tailored gray suit, with confidence radiating from every movement, he smiled as she entered. "You?" Maya whispered. He nodded gently. "Yes. I owe you more than a thank you." She stood frozen. "I didn't know who you were. I just saw someone who needed help." "That's exactly why you're here," he said. "You didn't help me for attention or gain. You did it because you have a good heart." "I needed that reminder." Maya's voice trembled. "I lost my job because I helped you." His expression softened, regret shadowing his eyes. "Then let me make it right. I'm offering you a position here, executive assistant. You'll have flexible hours, health benefits, and I'll ensure your son is taken care of." She shook her head in disbelief. "Sir, I'm not qualified. I've never worked in a big company." "You have something this company desperately needs," he said quietly. empathy, integrity, humanity. Over the next few weeks, Maya began her new role. She arrived early, worked hard, and learned fast. Alexander Bennett watched her from a respectful distance, amazed by her sincerity. She treated everyone the same, from janitors to board members, and never let her kindness fade. She'd often talk about Liam, showing pictures on her phone, her face lighting up. Sometimes Alexander would listen quietly, realizing how much strength it took to smile when life had given her so little. One evening, after a company charity event, Maya found herself standing on the balcony, looking out at the city. Alexander joined her silently. "Do you ever regret stopping that day?" he asked softly. She smiled faintly. "I thought I did when I lost my job. But if I hadn't stopped, I'd still be stuck behind a counter, wondering if kindness even matters. Turns out, it does." He looked at her for a long moment. "You changed something in me too. I used to think success was about power and numbers. You reminded me it's about people." Months passed, and Maya became the heart of the Silverstone Foundation, a project Alexander started in her honor, helping single parents find jobs and support. Her story spread like wildfire. A single mother fired for being late after helping a man in a wheelchair, who turned out to be the billionaire she had saved. 1 year later, Maya stood on a stage before hundreds, delivering a speech as the foundation's new director. Her voice trembled, but her heart was steady. "Sometimes," she said, "the world punishes kindness. But if we stop being kind, we lose the only thing that makes us human." That day in the rain, I thought I lost everything. But in truth, I gained everything that mattered. The audience rose in applause. And when her eyes met Alexander's in the front row, smiling proudly, his eyes full of admiration, she realized something deeper than gratitude bound them now. Maya had saved him from a pothole that day. But he had saved her from giving up on life, and as the rain began to fall outside once again, she smiled to herself, whispering, "Some storms come not to drown us, but to wash us clean."